Caution, breathe, iris, light, mind, flash, Jaedong, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much, Slayer Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world, LG, Intel Centrium, GOMTV, Star Invitational.
변형태, 김태교, 연보석, 송병구.
Greetings from Seoul, Korea. This is Nick Tasel's plot at the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. The tournament has turned out to be massively successful, and today we are in the quarterfinals. 8 players remain. 8 of the best players in the world. StarCraft, one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult game ever created. Our first game is going to be FlaSh versus Jaedong. A very exciting matchup. The map order, and it will be the same map order for all of the games, is going to be Blue Storm, Katrina, and finally, if it goes to a third game, Bekma Goji. So a best of 3 to start off. 2 interesting players, Jaedong and FlaSh. I believe they have an even record historically with an overall tie of 4-4. Jaedong and FlaSh met each other only yesterday, I believe, in one of the Star League groups where FlaSh managed to triumph over Jaedong and get his revenge. So Jaedong has another opportunity now to come back and try to beat FlaSh. Could turn out to be a really exciting match. FlaSh has recently been attempting to diversify his style a little bit more, especially in the early game. He was particularly known for his orthodox strategies. In February 14th, he failed to advance to the semifinals of the MSL by losing against Jaedong. And again, on February 22nd, he advances to the second Star League semifinal by revenging his loss against Jaedong. Jaedong, on the other hand, he shows very good performance against all 3 of the races. He's a well-rounded player. He's currently the best player in terms of performance and momentum. He shows a high skill in all aspects of the game. I mean, he's got very high APM, incredible multitasking. On top of that, he just has really strong in-game judgment and macro management. So because of that, we have, well, let's just be frank here. We have 2 very well-rounded players. They've had a very even history before. This game could go either way. I'm putting my money on Jaedong, but honestly, if there was a player who could defeat Jaedong, if there was a player who could take Jaedong out, this would be the one. FlaSh, the person who went 3-0 in his group, walked over his opponents with ease, including Anytime, who is also going to be in Game 2 coming up here. One note, and I will be saying this in all of the cast, is that if Anytime manages to win in his group, which will be in the game after this, in his round, we will be moving the beginning times of the games on Wednesday to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, rather than 6 o'clock, because Anytime has another tournament he has to be going to. Oh, and who is the jerk with the purple shirt on right now? That must be me. Yeah, this is the only stuff they have in the wardrobe that fits me. I do not normally dress like a tool, I promise you, but this is going to be the exception to the rule today. Where was I? So Jaedong, just an incredibly strong player. I still think he's the favorite to win this tournament, but it's going to be an uphill battle, that's for sure. We're just sitting here waiting for the players to be released. And here comes our first one right now. It is none other than FlaSh, the man who 3-0'd his entire group, He has a lot of fans here today. And he will be entering his booth now, making sure his mouse settings, his keyboard settings, even his brightness settings are exactly where they need to be. And here comes our next opponent. You've all heard of him. The most powerful Zerg in the world. Jaedong. He managed to go 2-1 in his group. Although a lot of people say that he actually threw his game against his teammate anytime, so they wouldn't be meeting in the bracket phases. He is a monster. I mean, just an incredibly strong player. And now he will be entering his booth to do just what FlaSh is doing, to make sure that his settings are on right, make sure everything feels just like it is when he's back playing with his other pro team players back in the pro house. The first map is going to be Blue Storm. Now, we have seen many players that are Zerg go for early Mutalisk on that map, so it's a high possibility, but now we're going to get a look at some of FlaSh's stats. It looks like he's 7th in Kespa right now, making him, I believe, the 2nd highest ranked Terran. That's off the top of my head. They don't give me those stats today. But I believe he's the 2nd highest ranked Terran in Korea. He, I don't know what else to say. He's just really proven to be quite a prodigy. A young player, too. But apparently that's proven to be no problem for him, as he's just shown up and managed to dominate so many of the old school players that we've seen today. Taking a look in the other booth, here we see Jaedong. He is just an incredible Zerg player. Savior was #1 for a while in the whole Zerg realm, and Jaedong has slowly crept up there. Now ranked 3rd in Kespa, with only 2 Protoxes in front of him. He is the most powerful Zerg alive. An absolute monster. Again, he is also proven to be very strong on the map Blue Storm. So I'm really excited to see what these two players are going to be doing against each other. Jaedong's record right now, or at least in the last 10 games records versus each of the races, he's been 6-4 against Terran. As we look at FlaSh against Zerg, he's also been 6-4. So it really doesn't get more even than this. 2 powerhouse players meeting here today. I'm interested in seeing if Jaedong is going to be able to get his revenge from yesterday. He lost 1-2 to FlaSh in some very exciting games. If you can never go check out the VODs, they're probably up on YouTube already. Definitely go do that. A lot of people down here at the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. It was packed outside. I believe it still is packed outside. Every time I've been down here, this whole event, the whole studio fills up so quickly that people are always left waiting, out for long periods of time. They have to wait until somebody leaves the seats before they can even let somebody else in. I mean, people are showing up here hours in advance just so they can get a good seat. Each one making their little banner or little sign or whatever it is so that they can show their support to the gamers. Koreans are really well known for being very passionate at sport events and really big on making those signs. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those already. At StarCraft matches, they're very good at hiding their faces as well. They burrow quickly. We're still waiting here for the players to start. I take my cue from when the Korean players stop talking, so I just keep rambling until something happens. Our next match is going to be Anytime versus Much. The match after that is going to be Berserker, also known as Iris, versus Bisu. And then Game 4 will finally be Stork versus C. So Jaedong is actually the only Zerg in this group left. So if Jaedong loses this, it's going to be nothing but Terrans and Protoss left. Although, note that there are only 3 Zergs actually invited to the tournament. I understand they'll probably be inviting more sometime in the future, whenever they do this event again. But yeah, it's going to be Jaedong representing the entire Zerg race. With FlaSh, on the other hand, we still have 3 other Terrans in the tournament. Iris, also known as Berserker, and C. Iris just recently changing his name to Berserker because he was nicknamed in Korea the Berserker Terran, and decided it would be appropriate to make that switch over. When is this game going to start? The map listing, again, is going to be Blue Storm, Katrina, and Bekma Goji. Now, we saw an incredible game by FlaSh earlier against Savior on this map, where Savior, I mean, it just looked like he was completely owning FlaSh, took out FlaSh's only expansion, was closing in on him with Guardians and Zerglings with the Adrenal upgrade, managed to use... Oh, hold that thought. Thank God that game finally started. As I was saying before, FlaSh has showed an incredible game against Savior, where Savior was winning up until, the last few minutes, and FlaSh managed to come back. So I think Jaedong's got a tough fight up ahead. Now there's Jaedong. He's at the bottom left. FlaSh is at the top right. This is a one-on-one map. So we do have to ask ourselves, like we do on every one-on-one map, will somebody open up with a bit more of a risky build, perhaps a rush build? Since those do prove to be so effective on one-on-one maps, you don't have to worry about the location of your opponent and whether or not your build is going to be as effective. So again, in moments we will see exactly how this game will unfold. Both players having very, very, very even records statistically and against each other. Two Titans facing each other now. One will be on top, not only in this tournament, but all-time record-wise. And again, it looks like an interesting rush strategy has already started with FlaSh building his barracks before the supply depot, knowing it's a one-on-one map and he can get away with something like that. If Jaedong hatches on 12, we could see this game end in seconds. Double barracks before supply depot, even more aggressive, even more risky. Now, I'm curious if he made those barracks too close to be in range of the Overlord vision. If he does that, it could be all for nothing. Now, here comes the Overlord now. Is the Overlord actually out of range of that? I believe it is. I believe FlaSh has timed this out so well that it's barely out of vision. But if Jaedong spotted it, and there's no way Jaedong spotted it because Jaedong went hatchery first. Jaedong has no idea the sack of bricks that's about to hit him, but it looks like the building SCV randomly moved into the vision path of the Overlord, forcing Jaedong to immediately cancel that hatchery, transition over to a spawning pool. Jaedong should have positioned his buildings up just a little bit higher. Wow, he's fast. Now again, taking a look at Jaedong's vision, here we can see that he does on the minimap have a red blip up at the top left, so he does have that expansion up. Now the question is, how many SCVs is FlaSh going to send, and will that be enough to win this game? And here he comes now, closing in. He's going to use these drones to try to prevent them from making a bunker, but there may be too much. This may be game right now for Jaedong. He's going to need these Zerglings to come out in time, but SCVs and Marines are going to put up an excellent fight. The larva at the spawning hatchery will not be of any use right now. They will not be out in time to help defend this. Here comes another hatchery. And here comes FlaSh attacking the spawning pool, the building which will allow his opponent to make Zerglings. He's going to try to close in now, but there may be too many Marines if he can micro it correctly, and he has. The rush has proven to be effective, and the spawning pool will soon go down for Jaedong. And the pool is out! And now I believe it is only moments before Jaedong will have to leave. He will have to do everything he possibly can to micro correctly, but only drones. Not enough for what FlaSh has. And this is going to be a victory for FlaSh. GG. Wow, that was pretty short. Jaedong looking pretty pissed at what just happened. Even after he detected the double proxy barracks into SCV rush. Managed to not hold that off anyways. Probably should have made his second hatchery in his main rather than at the expansion and maybe put up at least one creep colony there to defend it. But hey, these are the best in the world. I guess he thought it was a necessary risk to take to win in the long run. We got game 2 coming up very soon. That will be on Katrina, a map we have seen FlaSh do very well on. Looking at their records. Oh, I guess they didn't give me that piece of paper. I don't have their records on Katrina. What I do know is that I think we have less of a likelihood of seeing some type of aggressive rush early on a map like this. Because it's a 4-player map, and the expansion that would be most logical for you to take is in the back of your base rather than in the front. Terrans do rushes like that because Zergs generally make their first hatchery at the expansion, and because they can't build sunken colonies there, or creep colonies to morph into sunken colonies, they're a lot more vulnerable. The second game will start soon. I can see that both players have joined the game. We are now waiting for the Korean commentators to get them set up. FlaSh taking a drink of water, probably very relieved that he has an early advantage now. Jaedong probably very frustrated that he lost the game that quickly. He probably had an entire build all the way out to endgame mapped out in his brain. He will not get to use that now. That's really mentally debilitating when that happens. And there is a carrot with curly hair. He is cheering for, I don't know who, but hey, who isn't cheering for these guys right now? These are the best in the world. Top StarCraft players. This is the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. In moments, game 2 of Jaedong versus FlaSh will begin. 2 powerhouse players, and it looks like FlaSh is proving that Jaedong might not get his revenge from yesterday's loss in the Star League. Now, I'm interested in seeing how FlaSh will open here. FlaSh is, it's more likely that FlaSh will do a fast command center build, like command center first on a map like this, since it could give him an earlier advantage if Jaedong attempts to play macro style. Not to mention the fact that he already has that 1-0 advantage. He may take another risk, but in the opposite direction rather than aggressive in a more defensive economic pattern. So all the pressure is on Jaedong now. The person that I actually voted to be most likely to win this tournament.
Caution, Breathe, Iris, Light, Mind, FlaSh, Jaedong, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much. Slayer's Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world. LG, Intel Centrino, GOMTV, Star Invitational.
Game 2 has begun. FlaSh at the south and Jaedong at the north. Both players very far away from each other. If FlaSh does for some reason opt to be aggressive, or Jaedong opt to be aggressive early on, it may not be in his favor because of the distance and locations. We will see soon enough if both players choose to go for the macro opening. We've seen a lot of Terrans go for command center first on this map, which is generally considered very risky, but good Zergs almost never rush. And because of that, Terrans know they can get away with incredibly risky openers. Zergs don't rush because Zergs tend to 3 hatchery, or at least some of them do, 3 hatchery before they even get the spawning pool out. Supply depot first. Note the location of it to set up some type of a wall in. Playing it a little bit safe. Going on to the forums. Someone wants to shout out to WHS. We are staying up watching this instead of doing crappy English project due tomorrow and studying for a calculus test. Well, that makes me really happy, guys. I hope you are enjoying the games, and I hope they're not all as short as that last one. Shout out from a high school in Denmark. Nice. You guys, looks like you guys are liking the commentating, and you guys have a high expectation that this match will advance for the Zerg. Yeah, since there's only one Zerg, I would agree. Let's hope that one Zerg can make it through this. But hey, this is FlaSh. Looks like FlaSh hasn't gotten that barracks yet. This means there's a high chance he'll be getting the command center first. Or no, wait, no. Look, he's like he will be getting the barracks. Jaedong sending the scouting drone out now. Now, Jaedong has actually gone 9-pool. Jaedong did this against Boxer and completely slayed Boxer because Boxer went command center first. On the other hand, FlaSh has not gone command center first. FlaSh is playing it very safe, probably feeling very confident that all he has to do is play a standard straight-up game to beat his opponent. And this could be very, very, very bad news for Jaedong if the 9-pool Zergling rush with the speed upgrade is not effective. Especially if he does end up wasting his Vespian gas on the Zergling speed upgrade. Here come the Zerglings now. I don't know what. It looks like he's splitting the path up. I don't know exactly why. Maybe it was just the pathfinding. No Marine, though, for the Terran. FlaSh was, in fact, going for a rather risky build. He did not make a Marine. This means that Jaedong will have a very big advantage now. But Jaedong needs to attack fast. One Marine is making, but if Jaedong's Zerglings get there in time, this could be game in the opposite direction. Drone staying out there for a possible offensive hatchery opener. And will he move in for the kill? I don't know what he's waiting for. Moving in now, attacking the neutral building at the bottom. If he takes that out, SCV's attempting to repair it. I'm not sure if they'll be able to get there in time. And he will take this out. First Marine going to go down. Looks like FlaSh will be losing this game rather quickly as well. It's turned out to be a very aggressive rush opening game. Zerglings having positioning over the location in which the Marine will spawn from now. SCV's getting pushed back, hatchery building for a sunk rush on the wall-in. And this is going to be a good game within seconds, I believe. With no more SCVs for FlaSh and too many Zerglings for Jaedong. G2! Now, whatever build that FlaSh had mapped out in the long run has been a total waste, a waste of practice time. I hope he practiced enough on Bekmagoji. I hope he expected to make it to the third round because otherwise he's going to be in trouble. I see the game's been created. Both players have already immediately joined. Not speaking to each other. Probably concentrating very hard. They know it all comes down to this moment. They're once again tied overall in their competitive record history. It's going to be this final game that's going to decide who's going to remain on top for now. FlaSh just proving to be one of the most powerful Terrans in the world. I believe ranked second in Kespa. On the other hand, we have Jaedong ranked third in Kespa. For those of you who don't know Kespa, that is the most important Korean, it's the Korean Esports Association. They're the people that govern the rankings of all these players worldwide. So these are some of the best players out there. Tied right now. Whoever wins this does make it to the semifinals. Very exciting games. I think all that FlaSh had to do was get a few Marines out early, but instead he opted to go straight for a few SCVs right at the start, knowing that most Zergs do not rush, but Jaedong clearly now winning against two top Terrans in the world with a 9-pull on a 4-player map that teched into Zergling speed and the offensive hatchery. Apparently, this is not necessarily a bad build to do, especially against good players. A lot of psychology involved in that build. I assume Jaedong probably would not have even done that against a player who wasn't that good, since a player who wasn't that good would have gotten the Marines early on. But knowing the FlaSh, would not expect him to rush. Instead, did a very interesting move. We're waiting for the next game to start. We have a little bit more time. I'm going to read some stuff off the forum. The entrances of the players is cool, someone says on the forum. We should make a thread which pro has the best entrance. Oh, yeah, and someone says I do dress like a tool. I agree. This is not my best outfit. Hopefully they'll make me wear something that's less nerdy, something that doesn't make me look like I live in a toolbox. And somebody else finds it rather funny on the forums that looks like it's only been about 6 minutes of play from the two games combined. Someone else in the forum says this is a fasting. I believe it means this is a very fast game series, the fastest game series ever for the moment. Yes, I believe so. I don't think we've seen two games that have ended so abruptly or played so aggressively. Someone else says smart move by Jaedong to attack the neutral building instead of the Terran's repairable ones. I think Terrans can repair that neutral building. Actually, I could be mistaken though.
Caution, Free, Iris, Light, Mind, FlaSh, Jaedong, easy play, anytime, stop, nada, much, Slayer's Boxer, C, Bisu, Savior, 16 of the most powerful StarCraft gamers in the world, LG, Intel Centrino, GOMTV, Star Invitational.
The final game has begun. FlaSh at the south. Oh, south. Oh, excuse me. I'll just say bottom left to make it simple. FlaSh is at the bottom left. There he is now. Probably pretty pissed that he just threw away his 1-0 advantage. Jaedong probably relieved that he is now still in this game. He looks he looks like he's concentrating very hard. Note the positioning of the workers on the mineral patches. They always make sure to mine from those two smaller mineral patches in the center, because once they break those away, they can get to the bigger ones in the back. So everything is orchestrated very carefully on a map like this. Note the neutral sunken colonies on this map. If you haven't watched any of the games earlier in the tournament, this is a rather unusual map. Neutral sunks, forcing Terran to not build in certain locations on the map, as well as Protoss. You have to take that out first. Two Vespian gas geysers, as well as double the amount of minerals. Spawning pool first for Jaedong. And a barracks after depot. Very typical build for the Terran so far. We really have no idea of knowing exactly how he's going to play this out, other than the fact that Jaedong is now going for a pool and Vespian gas geyser. In other words, he's going to be going for the same build he did before. Perhaps to build rush with Zerglings to build sunken colonies on the creep that is outside of the Terran's base, since there is already a neutral sunk there. There is the happy carrot rooting for the StarCraft players yet again. An avid StarCraft fan he is. Zerglings are now being produced. I have a strong feeling this game may end rather soon. Now, Zerg rushing like this, while it may be very good early on, if Terran holds it off, it could be very bad for the Zerg. Offensive builds can function a lot like a double-edged sword. I assume that next group of, the next egg that's hatching is also going to be Zerglings. Now here we see Jaedong moving a drone around on the map. He only has one barracks out and a bunker out here. FlaSh may realize that something bad could happen very soon to him, but if these Zerglings get here in time, it might not even matter. Is this bunker going to complete? Now here comes the drone now. Going to have to back off, putting a sunken colony right outside of the bunker. Another drone is coming. Every drone that Jaedong throws, though, he is going to be that much farther behind on minerals. Here come the Zerglings. He wants to try to pick off this bunker, which is producing very close to where the sunken colony is. And Jaedong's rush may not work out at all. Rushing in here, though, and picking off 2 Marines, then backing off, trying to edge forward. Here he comes now, putting up another sunken colony, trying to pick it off, but it looks like SCVs are going to repair it. It's all down to Micro now. Jaedong attacking the SCVs, now going back for the bunker, and he may be able to take out this bunker. It's not quite clear. Picking off a few SCVs on the way and morphing another sunk. Jaedong may end up winning this game off the rush alone. Bunker will go down, and another sunk will go up. Now outranging the bunker in the back. Now, it's going to be up to how many SCVs did Jaedong pick. Oh, he picked off a lot. And he picked off the bunker as well. Note that, though, Jaedong probably has very little drones as well. No drones over here either. Now, if he can get a sunken colony up here, he can break the entrance that Terran has that's keeping Terran safe. And he's going to send 2 more drones to do that right now. He'll either be making more drones or more Zerglings to kind of do an all-in thing. Jaedong now has 2 barracks, is rapidly producing SCVs when he can afford them. Here comes some more Marines attacking the sunken colony. Creep colony, soon to be a sunken colony. Sunk is morphing. Jaedong going to dash in here with these lings when he decides the moment is right. And he has no time to waste, because once the sunken... Oh, this is bad news. Terran picked that off. And he is morphing another one. Another drone coming, but Jaedong slowly getting behind in his economy. He needs to break in here. He needs to bust the Terran entrance, putting the next sunk in a location. God, Jaedong is really behind in drones. Jaedong, this is all in right now. It's all or nothing now. And FlaSh knows all he has to do is keep making bunkers in order to stay alive. Here he comes, moving in for a few more kills on those Marines. The bunker is there for defense, but if he picks off this bunker, and he very well may be able to do that. No, he does not. He should have ran by and tried to pick off SCVs. Another sunken colony being produced, but too many Marines making it difficult for the Zerglings to inflict any damage. And now Jaedong has, I would believe, 4 drones left or 3 drones left. Not enough to deal with this. We could see GG very soon here from Jaedong, since he would not want to bother playing out such a drawn-out game where he has no workers whatsoever. It looks like he's going to try to make one more final sunken colony. I would believe if FlaSh holds this off, FlaSh will win the game. Running in here now, trying to push back the Marines, but every Zergling counts in a moment like this. The sunken colony can do a lot of damage to those Marines, but he has to be very careful not to overextend himself. Academy now being made. If the Academy completes, he'll have medics, making this entire rush useless, if it has not already turned out to be useless. A few more Marines attacking this. Sunk morphs, but Sunk loses 100 HP whenever it morphs. Creep colonies have 100 more HP, so when they do that morph, if they're low on life, they become even weaker. Now, Jaedong, what the hell are you going to do to come back from this? I have no idea. He does have a contain on the Terran, but all it will take is a few medics and Marines to break this. Jaedong aware that he is in a god-awful position. Wow, I don't know what the hell they're supposed to do to win a game like this now. Especially against FlaSh. Jaedong positioning his overlords. He wants to make sure Terran doesn't float any barracks out. Oh man, I have no idea what Jaedong is going to do. He's going to be making drones now, but he will basically have nothing to defend against unless he makes a few more Zerglings. He doesn't even have his second hatchery up, which means he doesn't really have any defensive position in which he can hold the medic Marine rush that will eventually happen off. Jaedong knows he's won the game, but he has to do everything right. Excuse me, I meant FlaSh. Just kidding, guys. Sorry, I really did mean FlaSh, because FlaSh has about a 95% chance of winning right now. What is up with me swapping players' names, anyways? Now he's going to make a second hatch, not at the choke, but at the expansion. Jaedong knows he has to get ahead in minerals, but he will have a very weak defensive position. FlaSh scanning, noticing that his opponent does not even have drones in the Vespian gas geyser, meaning that his lair will not be out for at least a few more minutes. Looks like he's going to try to just... oh god, oh no, this is so bad for Jaedong. Jaedong knows that. Oh, look at that, he could make a few sunks over here on the neutral creep to recover, and that is exactly what he's going to do. Jaedong looks like he has practiced some type of a response build or something like this. But again, he's so behind. That blue sunken colony will clash aesthetically with the orange sunken colonies of Jaedong. So the question is, can FlaSh micro this well enough to pick off those sunks? The fire bats are there primarily to pick up the drones. Fire bats aren't that strong against sunken colonies. However, I don't know if it has occurred to FlaSh yet that his opponent might be making sunks there. Looks like he's backed off now, and a factory's being pumped. He will now expand to this location. FlaSh played it very safe. Both games have ended so fast, so FlaSh, that they might actually, well, they might both have a lot of energy left to play out the other games. Here he comes now, though, taking out these sunks. Taking a drink of water right when that happened, excuse me. Another sunken colony will have to be made here, because FlaSh may be closing in very quickly. Layer coming up soon, but a starport is already being produced, which means vessels will be out sooner than Jaedong would have liked. That'll be very easy for FlaSh to do as well, because he has a second Vespian gas geyser. He'll be able to mine from that before he even gets a command center up, a second one at least. An Overlord being picked off. This is so bad oh, what? Overlord thought he could get away, but he could not. Okay, yes he can. Look at this badass Overlord. Refusing to die. Alright, good. I was getting tired of watching that. Spire being produced by Jaedong, probably going to try to do some type of Mutalisk harassment, but with the vessels out and a Radiate on the way, he... I just don't know what Jaedong can really do right now. Essentially, the Terran tech tree is so far ahead of the Zergs right now that unless a Terran makes some type of major blunder, or unless Jaedong makes some type of Kasparov genius move, I don't understand. I just don't know. I'm surprised Jaedong's even played it out for this long, but I guess he does have some type of response opener. Jaedong, we're determined to win, even when all the odds are against him. But he's coming up here with a large army now. It may be... It looks actually like FlaSh is just moving around the map, making sure Zerg hasn't expanded again. But as a result, it looks like Jaedong's had to make extra sunken colonies. Jaedong does not even have a third hatchery yet. Very bad news for him. Meanwhile, our Terran friend Jaedong already has a third barracks. The +1 attack for the Marines, as well as the fact that Marine range has already been completed, will make the Mutalisk harassment even less effective. Mutalisk's out now, but is it enough? What can he do with the Mutalisks? We will see soon. Here he comes now. But here's a Vessel already out. He may have a Radiate, if not very soon. And this is just not going the way Jaedong would have liked. FlaSh's army is just too big, and the Mutalisk stack harassment is going to be useless when the Vessel upgrades finish. Kicking off an SCV here, everyone will count. Note how good his micro is with those Mutalisks. Now going in for what looks like a tank. Trying to do force a few extra stims when the Terran stims, Zerg just strays away and comes in from another angle. All FlaSh has to do is control his units well and eventually push and squash the Zerg. And he may be able to take out the second Vessel. Nice move by Jaedong. Vessels are the counter unit to the Mutalisk once they have the Irradiate. It looks like FlaSh's Irradiate is late or something. I don't know what. Perhaps he just knows that all he has to do is get siege mode and begin to push the Zerg, and there's nothing the Mutalisks can actually do. A Scourge in the group as well. All right, Irradiate has been cast, but unfortunately for FlaSh, he irradiated the weakest Mutalisk in the group. Wow, Jaedong's doing a lot of damage, actually, to this Terran army. I'm rather impressed, I have to say, despite the fact I still think he's losing. If he can come in at the right angle and pick off that Vessel, that'll be really bad news for the Terran. I wish you could mine minerals from those giant mineral things, but I guess not. I would expo there if I could do that. All right, two more Scourge in here. Jaedong's very focused on getting rid of Vessels. He may go for that one very soon because it's been half health. But here comes a Vessel for some Irradiate. He has to be very careful, though. Picking off that Vessel. Jaedong, just an excellent player, but it looks like this Vessel's now moving in for the kill as well. Splitting the Mutalisk very well. That is a very difficult thing to do when the pressure's on, but FlaSh is now attempting to put the killing blows on his opponent. Jaedong has sloppily walked an Overlord into the path of those units. Now picking off a few medics. He'll need those medics if he attempts to face the sunken colonies. He's doing anything he possibly can to keep Terran from getting too far out of his base. Looks like FlaSh has now gotten a second starport for even more Vessels, but Jaedong's expansion is about to get spotted at the bottom right. FlaSh will probably move towards that direction now. Note that Jaedong has gotten the +1 armor upgrade for his Mutalisks. Here he comes again. Might be able to pick off a few Marines that are stray. Has to move this irradiated Mutalisk out, and he has not done that. Very difficult to pull those Mutalisks out. And this will make it impossible for Jaedong to save this expansion on the forms. Someone says, shout out to the Scudage boys in Sweden. What's up, guys? Someone else wants me to give a shout out to USCC University of Southern California. Someone says, hey, Taylor says, how do you think Jaedong should adapt to the Terran mech build, which is so popular on this map? I will talk about that after this game because there might just be too much going on. And some other. Oh my God! Oh, that thought! Oh my God! He lost everything. Oh, does it even matter that he lost the Vessel? No, it doesn't. Okay, GG. Oh man, Jaedong has been taken out. Looks really pissed off right now. FlaSh probably very happy. I wonder if Jaedong thinks maybe he shouldn't have done such a risky build, although I will admit it was a really cool build he did on that map. So the game is over with now. We're going to have a break coming up here soon. The next game is going to be Anytime versus Much. It's been my pleasure casting with you guys. someone was talking about the mech build, which was popular on this map. I'm not sure if you're talking about this map or the one on Katrina. Normally you get mech, you get the Mutalisk with the +1 armor upgrade, and then you get a Hydralisk with speed. You get the Mutalisk first to force the Terran to get too many Goliaths, and then the Hydralisk with speed can come in. It's especially effective with drop because the Terran mech army has no mobility. So for that reason, if the Terran starts to leave their base, you just send the Mutalisks in and, with the Overlords full of Hydralisks and drop their main, and then when they try to come back, you just leave again. Meanwhile, you take the whole map. To answer your question about that, but I don't know. That was really fun casting those last 3 games. Each game had a really unique, aggressive opener. I'm curious if we're going to see the same thing with Much versus Anytime, which will be a Protoss versus Protoss. Regardless, though, badass tournament. Looks like FlaSh now making it to the quarterfinals. Excuse me, not the quarterfinals, the semifinals. So props to him for that. Too bad Jaedong was eliminated. I was not expecting FlaSh to be such a rabid monster in this tournament, tearing apart everyone in his path. FlaSh has only lost 1 game in the tournament so far, and that was to Jaedong earlier, to the 9-pool hatch rush. Really exciting game. And I believe we're going to have a break here within a few moments. Feel free to keep posting your comments. But make sure you post them in the... I mean, if you want them to pick your comments for us to read during the games, I'm actually not the one picking them. You need to post them in the game, in the chat for the game, not in a separate thread, because otherwise they're not likely to end up finding them. And I don't know. I guess the Korean commentators are still talking, so I'll keep talking too. Much versus Anytime. It's going to be very difficult for me to say who's going to win this. In all honesty, it's very difficult for me to say who's going to be the winner in any of these groups. But I would say I think I'm kind of favoring Anytime, but it's still very difficult to say. Again, a lot of 2 1-on-1 maps in the group, so we may see some more proxy rushing. Always makes for exciting games. And of course, Katrina, a very interesting map for Protoss versus Protoss, makes there some very interesting mid-game Reaver pushes as well. And all right, we're still talking. All right, no, we're not on break now. So my bathroom break will have to wait. Again, we are about to enter Game 2 of the GOMTV StarCraft Invitational. Oh, here's some more comments on the forum. Oh, just some people saying that they appreciate my commentary. You're welcome. Thank you so much. I think these next games are going to be really exciting, especially the Protoss versus Protoss on Blue Storm. There's a lot of interesting builds on that, with that one small entrance not allowing Dragoons to get out. It's always fun to see how players play on that map, how they adapt. And again, Game 3 and Game 4. Game 3, Berserker, also known as Iris, versus Bisu. Game 4 will be Stork versus C. So we've got a lot more games coming up. This will be the day I'll be casting more games than any other day in the whole tournament. So I'm excited about that. And drinking a lot of honey lemon water in the meanwhile. I believe they're waiting for the other players to get organized before the break begins. And let's hope that happens soon, because I am out of stuff to talk about. Thank God. All right, cool. Oh, excuse me, there is no break. There is no break at all, because the next game is about to start. There must have been a mix-up, because now we have Much on the stage. This is like a WWF wrestling match. Much has suddenly appeared back from the dead, now ready to place Anytime. And he is behind this wall now. Get ready, they're about to unleash the Anytime from his cage, where he will rapidly run towards a computer for a vicious Protoss versus Protoss. There he is now. Release the Anytime. These are 2 powerhouse Protoss players. And here they are now, in their booths,